Hi there, welcome to another video of mine, and today I'm going to be talking about basically what you know makes a closed-minded person into a closed-minded person. What makes a closed-minded person tick? Well, I'll start off by saying that closed people that are closed-minded. For example, I'll give an example. If I was imagine I'm saying something about my path, and someone's never heard it before and they don't understand it, they may say something to their friends like, he doesn't understand, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And then their friends will say, why's that? And they'll say, well, I don't know what he's talking about. This is the madness of ego. And the reason they've come up with that and said that you don't know what you're talking about because they don't understand what you're talking about. So then once they don't understand you, there's fear that you know more than them. And so once they think that, then the ego starts coming out. And so people like that want to attack you. You get this a lot, well, years ago, when David Icke came out and was talking about all the stuff he was talking about, I think a lot of that was going on. Because I remember watching the interview, you can get it on YouTube, the first interview with Terry Wogan. And Terry Wogan, you could see it was all egotistical. He was saying, what makes you so special? And that's an example. And when you're like this, and you're getting insecure because you think someone knows better than you, how do you feel in that moment? And in that moment, you feel all horrible and everything. It's not really that other person's fault. It's actually what's actually happened is that they have managed to trigger you. So, and what's happened in that moment is something unhealed within you, an insecurity within you has manifested itself. And you're wanting to, because you're feeling bad, you want to bring that other person down. But the truth of the matter is, when you're doing this is a defense thing, like a defense mechanism, but it doesn't heal you. That bad feeling you've got is created by yourself. So the solution, excuse me, the solution is to pay attention, or rather meditate upon this feeling. And when you start to meditate upon negative feelings, you can observe them without judgment, or observe them without really having a negative reaction. This is why I say that it's important to become meditation all the time. But you get this a lot, and I'm sure that when I'm talking, there's people that probably listen to me sometimes. I've had negative comments before, I've had negative trolls. And it's the same with the trolls. The trolls are very close-minded people, sheeple. And so, like I say, that's how the system controls society. It controls society by creating close-minded people that are in their beliefs. You see this with religion. You see this just now with the face masks. So if someone's got an opposite opinion to what they're programmed to believe, they're not, normal people aren't open to other ideas. They're not open to the opposite opinion. And until we have that, we won't really have freedom and free speech. Because that's preventing it, really. Because then the troll thinks that their opinion is right, and therefore you shouldn't be allowed an opinion. I've even seen some of them say that. Crazy enough, I have seen that. Excuse me. So, yeah, this is all stuff that, like I said, in that spiritual awakening, you become, self-aware, and you start to notice unhealed parts of you're aware of your subconscious traumas that make you trigger, and this is how I've got so much insight into this stuff. And I'm sure, like I say, I'm sure that there's people that listen to my stuff, and because I've got, I had an unexpected spiritual awakening just under 10 years ago. And so someone that's not had that awakening, they probably find me very strange, because it's opposite opinions, because a normal person has been programmed since birth with all these belief systems and everything, and someone that's had a spiritual awakening will seem very strange to them. And I've experienced these kind of people, but I guess this video can help the opposite opinions, and people with opposite opinions, it can help them understand people with opposite viewpoints. Because when you think of it, there's nearly 8 billion people on this planet. So how can even a group, a small tiny 1% group within that, know what's right and wrong? And I'm talking about, governments here. Really, compared to all of us, that's a tiny 1%. So we need to realise that we don't really know anything. There's really limitless ways of looking at things. Like I say, everything came from nothing. Nothing, add nothing equals nothing. So that means infinity of what there is to know. There's nearly 8 billion people on this planet, but what about outside of this planet? Scientists have never actually found an ending to the universe. This is true. So try to just have an open mind. That's why, I've got friends on the internet that are flat earthers and that. Well, I'm not going to say I believe in it or not believe in it, but I'm open-minded. Someone recently said that to me. Someone recently was trying to brainwash me with religion, but they said I was very open-minded. I'm not particularly into religion. I think it's a form of control. Absolutely, it's because control is about, the system uses divide and rule. Religion's a part of that, and just now they're taking down Jesus statues with Black Lives Matter. But that's a form of religion as well, because you're against that religion. Religion is all about that. Black Lives Matter is kind of like a religion, and they act like a religion, and all religions are cults. Like Mike Tyson said, that the more he looked into churches, then the more he seen the devil, and I think that's very true. But yeah, that's how society is coordinated. It's coordinated by creating a bunch of closed-minded sheeple. And so the way before, because we're going through awakening now, that's the problem for the system. But the way before is, if someone like me would have been like the way I am, had this awakening, say 30 years ago, I would have been seen as crazy. You still get ignorant people that are closed-minded to that, but there's a lot more open-mindedness now in the time that we're in. But, just try and be a little bit more open-minded, because if you think of it, there's, your perspective is one perspective within nearly 8 billion. You can't, so it would be extremely crazy and arrogant to think that one person within that 8 billion could be right. There's nearly 8 billion to 1 chance of you being right in any subject. That's why I laugh at people. You see them and they talk about what reality is. How can you know what reality is? Also, nothing equals nothing. So, how does anyone define nothing? Right? But the cure to this, to being closed-minded and to being stuck in your own perspective, is to just remind yourself of that at some stage everything has to come from nothing. God created the universe, and who created God? Well, nothing. So if there's nothingness, you can't define nothingness, and just think of that. No one can define consciousness. What is consciousness? What's nothingness? What is anything? When you think that everything comes from nothing, you can't define nothing, so what is anything? So the truth is that none of us know anything, and when you realize you know nothing, that's when your awareness really expands. And this is what happens in that spiritual awakening. Your awareness starts expanding because you're you're returning to nothingness, and you realize that you know nothing. Right? And this is when you start developing in your intelligence. This is when you're having DNA activations. You have DNA activation simply by understanding that you know nothing. That expands your DNA and awareness and activates your DNA. And because what you're doing is you go into a higher level of awareness then. And a deeper truth is the higher and lower is just experiences. There is no higher and lower. But that's for probably another video. But yeah, that is the way to defeat closed-mindedness. And like I say, this is the closed-mindedness is a trick from the system, the 1% at the top of the Illuminati pyramid. It gets people to believe in these different ideas, but all these different ideas are created by other people. We've got to remember that they're not created by you. So when you get stuck into them, you're not even stuck into what you really believe in. You see, most people don't even know what they really believe in. It's what other people have told them that they're believing in. So how to escape this? You've got to get back to the core, which is nothingness. Right? And that will, expand your awareness when you realize then that you know nothing. And that is the cure to help in being closed-minded, and also the ego and the fear and the insecurity that comes with being closed-minded. When we're closed-minded and someone's got an opposite opinion, we feel really insecure in that moment, and we should be learning in that moment from someone that has got an opposite perspective. That's the point of opposite perspectives. It's so that we can expand our awareness together, but we can only do that when we tune into it. When we're negative towards it, we can't learn anything when we're faced with someone with an opposite viewpoint. But when you start tuning into opposite opinions, you feel yourself, you start expanding yourself, your consciousness and awareness. So try to listen to people with a different opinion to yourself. And that is how you cure your closed-mindedness and expand your awareness and expand your consciousness. Spiritually awaken, that's how you do it. But I'm just going to leave it there. I just wanted to do a video on this, on about closed-minded people and how to cure it. And this will go on my website, and same with everything else, latest news, blogs, videos. Please do check my website at www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you for watching and listening. Thank you.